Hi, everyone. How are you? Of course, I say, how are you? And nobody can say to me how they're doing. But hopefully when I say, how are you, there's some kind of, you could tap into yourself when I say, how are you doing? That you could tap into yourself on some level and check in with how am I doing? And so that's always a nice thing. And I guess before I started practicing yoga, I don't think I lived a life that way. I don't think I thought about myself in terms of my feelings or my emotions that way. So I don't know if I really checked in with how am I feeling. And I guess when we have the extreme aspects of feelings, whether that's real elation, we could tell we're really happy, or when we have real sadness, we can really feel the heaviness of the sadness. So just to check in with yourself right now to see how you're feeling right now. And it could be physical, it could be mental, it could be emotional. So that just came to my mind. All right, I'm trying to get my clock on here so I know I could stay on course. All right, so hi, Carol, how are you? And Sharon and Shannon, good morning. Donna, good morning. Joyce, hi, Joyce. And Shelly, nice to have you here from Canada. Love that. I think, I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, Shelly, but it's really amazing to me how many people have been coming into my life that are from Canada. And what I'm really realizing about Canada as a country, I've been there twice. So I was on the end of my cruise to Alaska, and then I went to Vancouver and Whistler. Canadians are very healthy people, or the ones that I'm meeting, and yes, it's in the health space, are very healthy people, health-minded, and I love that. So I feel like I would get along really well with Canadians. I need to go there more often and visit because I really feel great when I'm around Canadians. Hi, Jeannie, how are you? Nice to have you here. So this is week 8, and I keep the same schedule for Shelly, who has just met me. I was teaching at a hospital locally to me in the pre-pandemic era, and the way that the structure of the classes was that I would teach for 8 weeks, and then I would get 1 week off. And that actually is really great because I don't know that I would always take that time out that I need to. So this is the end of the 8-week sessions. This is our week 8. And then all next week I'm off. And then we come back again for the next session of 8 weeks. And 3 of my classes are on YouTube Live. And 2 of my classes are on Zoom. So I see and we can talk to each other, which is really nice. And that's really great. So I have my 5 classes per week. Stevie, good morning. Yes, hi to all your yoga friends. So happy to be here. I am too. And I say this, I know that for many of you have practiced with me for years and have been with me during this entire pandemic, which has been really great. We are doing something amazing for our body and for our mind. When I ask the question, how are you feeling? Maybe for some of you, you check in, maybe some you don't. Even that is a self-care practice to really notice how you're feeling. And the physical asana that we do, the breath work that we do, the connection of the breath with the movement is all stuff that is going to benefit the aging process, benefit our bone health, because this is a yoga for osteoporosis class. So all of this is us taking care of ourselves, and that is really amazing. So yes, all right, ladies. So because this is the last class, I'd like to really get to at least 12 poses, if not more. So there's going to be a little bit less of a longer time frame warming up the body, which most of you here have a pretty strong practice. If there's anyone here that doesn't have a strong practice, that's okay. Follow along and don't get scared by me saying that because it's not going to be crazy. I teach yoga for everyone, regardless of what your issues are, what your abilities are. So that's my real focus here, is that the practice of yoga is for everyone. And yoga is physical, it's mental, it's emotional, it's spiritual, it's all of that. So in this class, the yoga for osteoporosis, at least 12 poses is the goal. And we are going to begin in a seated position. We're going to begin with a breath technique that actually is going to really expand and open up the lungs and the whole entire apparatus, the respiratory apparatus. And I was just speaking with someone yesterday about scoliosis. Her daughter has scoliosis, and she was mentioning that the chiropractor or somebody just revealed to her that her daughter, actually the anxiety she's feeling, the mental emotional aspect of her, is related to her scoliosis because she's not able to breathe fully and deeply. I really like to teach this breath to you all. I teach it often. It's my new favorite breath. It's what I use all the time. It's called Vibhagra Pranayama. It is breathing to the lower lobes of the lungs, the middle lobes, and then the upper lobes. And there's different hand positions for it. I'm going to show you how. First, I'd like you to come into a seated position that you could be in for a little while. So for the basic place to begin is going to be the Hero's Pose. And I have 2 blocks here because I want to show you that height can make a difference. And so if you have joints that don't like to bend, your knees and or your hips, you'll need to be a little bit more careful. So you could have a block to sit on like this. You could have the block up on its edge, and when you sit back, this may feel right to you. So you're going to do a little Goldilocks technique, a Goldilocks test. This is too low. This is too high. This is just right. And you will feel where you need to be in this range of motion in your joints. So it may be that you use blocks. It may be that you use a blanket. It may be that you put the blanket closer to your knees. It may be that the blanket is folded up and it's in between your tushy and your heels. And if neither of these works for you, you can come into a elevation of a Sukhasana pose, which is called easy seated pose. We will need a strap for today's practice and the blocks if you're going to use them. So I like to be in the Hero's Pose. The Hero's Pose is actually the preferred way to be in this posture because it allows the spine to be nice and long, and it allows for a really nice range of motion and ability to move of the diaphragm, which is our primary breathing muscle. So find what you're going to find, get yourself into what's appropriate for you. Osteoporosis is a metabolic condition, right? It happens, it's an act of metabolism in the bones. The processes of bone building and bone repair, they shift in our mid-30s. So it is a metabolic condition. And when we focus on our breath, we actually affect our inner system, our physiology, it becomes affected. And what I really like about this breath here, Vibhagra Pranayama, is that we use different hand positions that actually helps to stretch some of the musculature of respiration and also of posture. So bring your hands, and the palms are going to make a nice connection with the skin. So you really want your palms to be flat. You're going to begin with your palms up against the lower ribs. That's where we begin in the front. Then you're going to slide them to the sides. If you start to feel too much tension in your upper back, you can actually flip the backs of your hands. And then you're going to come to the back of your body, and you're going to put your hands on the lower ribs. That's your lower lungs. To come to the middle lung, you're going to slide to the sides. You're going to bring your hands to the back of the middle ribs. If the palms on the ribs is not appropriate for you, you could try back of the hands. If that's not appropriate for you, when we come to the upper ribs, you bring your hands to the clavicle bones here. So put your hands right at the clavicular section of the chest. That will be when you breathe into the upper lobes. And then we don't want to put our hands here under our armpit for the sides. We do want our awareness to go there, our mind to go there. We take our hands and we bring our hands down here on our thighs. And then the last movement is to take your fingertips, touch the top of the back of the lungs, arms be alongside your ears. And this action of lifting the arms up like this. So make sure your arms aren't here, they're not here. The arms are alongside your head. The tops of the fingers are on the top lungs, and the elbows are reaching up towards the sky. And when you breathe throughout this whole process, I'll count you through it. When you do your breath, you bring your mind, your hand is touching. So there's 9 different sections that your mind will go to. When your hands are here and you're on the top, you bring your awareness here, you breathe to the section. The hands stay here, and then you bring your hand up. So even if you get confused and you don't move your hands or whatever, try to bring your awareness to ribs in the side, middle ribs in the side, middle ribs in the back. Upper ribs, okay? So the circular pattern would be, I'll count 3 rounds at each. So go ahead and be in your comfortable position. Close your eyes. Inside to your body and to notice how you feel. Body and to notice how you feel. Notice sensations. Notice maybe what the spine feels like. Touch. Make sure your palms are flat and bring your mind to where your hands are. And if you're not doing the hand position, keep your hands, your mind to where your hands are. And if you're not doing the hand position, keep your hands on your thighs, palm side down. So begin to breathe here to the lower ribs. Feel the lower ribs moving into the palms. And then let's prepare. Let's take a big exhale. Let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slide your hands around to the side of the lower ribs. Let's prepare to take an exhale. Let's begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slide your hands to the back, to where the lower ribs are on your body. Let's prepare, exhale. Begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring your hands up to the middle of the chest. Rest your hands on your chest. Let's prepare. Take a big exhale and begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sliding your hands to the side of the waist, in the middle of the waist, middle of the chest. Let's prepare. Exhale and begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Slide your hands to the back, the middle of the ribs. Let's prepare. Take an exhale and begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring your hands up to the clavicular area of the chest. Rest your hands on your chest. Bring your awareness to your hands. Let's prepare. Take a big exhale and begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring your hands down to the lower waist. Hands are along the side, thumbs are in the back. The awareness is at the under armpit area when you breathe. Let's prepare. Take a big exhale and begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bringing your hands up to touch the top of the back of the lungs. Arms are alongside the head. Let the arms lift, so feel that lifted action in the chest. Let's prepare. Take a big exhale and begin. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands down onto your thighs. Palms are down. And breathe into the lower, the middle, and the upper lobes of the lungs on the inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to do the same thing. So let me guide you for a couple of breaths. Let's prepare. Take a big exhale. Inhale to the lower, then the middle, then the upper. Exhale from the lower, middle, upper. Inhale, lower, middle, upper. Exhale, lower, middle, upper. Inhale, lower, middle, upper. Exhale, lower, middle, upper. Continue breathing on your own from the lower and exhaling from the lower. And feel your ribs moving all the way around the lower lungs, the middle, and the upper. Stay with your breath. Stay with the sections of your lungs. Keep your mind in your body. And then finish up this breath you're on. Take one more breath with total awareness in your body. When you finish that breath, let it go. Tap into how you're feeling after that nice long pranayama practice. Bring your awareness to your hands. As you rub your hands together, bring your hands to cover your eyes. Gently blink the eyes open. And then when the eyes start to open, you can even notice then how you feel. Because if there's a heaviness in the eyelids or a calm sensation over you, you'll realize the real power in breath and how valuable that is to managing stress. And there's much more research being done now on the relationship between stress and osteoporosis. And that's really important because we need to learn to manage our stress. So that's the first major posture of the day, is the breath. And let's come onto all fours, bring some blood back into our body from sitting like that for a while. Let's take one leg back, flip the toes under, move your foot back so you feel the stretch in the lower leg and you create this nice opening in that knee joint. And then let's go to the other side. So believe it or not, we were actually doing that breath for 14 minutes. And I don't know if it felt like 14 minutes to you. It definitely did not feel like 14 minutes to me. And it's really important. They say that it takes about 15 minutes to get a true deep stimulation to parasympathetic nervous system, where the entire system inside can change course and slow down. Let's bring ourselves up. You know, it's like this giant cruise ship. We can't just put on the brakes and just stop all of a sudden everything that's happening inside. We need to slow down just like if we were trying to turn a cruise ship. It would take a while to get it to shift. Come up here onto your legs. Let's take your hands down alongside your body. Let's reach up, really reach your arms nice and long here. Feel your tissue stretch. So I want you, whatever your range of motion is, go to the place where you feel tightness, you feel stretching. Inhale to raise up, and then exhale, chin to chest. So let your neck move into flexion and keep your rib cage nice and stable. And then also the arms are alongside the body, because I'd like the shoulder blades to be gliding up and down the upper back, which is going to help to remove some of the stickiness from the postural muscles and from the upper back. Bring yourself back to center. Let's take your arm up and over, laterally flexing your body here. And then bring yourself back up. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Go slow. Imagine that you're in water, so there's a fluidity to your movement. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's take the wrists, shake your wrists out. Perfect, perfect. I'd like to do a little stretch here called gate pose to get our legs ready. We're going to come to standing, and I'd like us to get the legs nice and stretched. The important thing here is the toes are pointing forward, and you need your pinky toe to touch the floor and your pinky toe edge to touch the floor. So make sure you're not having part of your foot up off the floor. Now, maybe you need to move your foot a little forward to find this in your body. Maybe you're able to bring your leg right alongside your body. It's going to be different for everyone depending on range of motion in your joints, especially here the hip joint coming out to the side like this. We do a lot of work in this practice for osteoporosis in this area of the body. So there's a bending occurring here. There's a movement here, a little flexion that's coming into this hip. So try to get yourself nice and aligned here. Take your hand down the leg, take the other palm out to the side, reach up. When you're here, get nice and tall. So press that leg into the floor, reach that hand up, find length in this side of your body, feel a stretch somewhere. Take the hand down the leg, inhale. And as you exhale, come into that stretch that feels appropriate for your body. Push your heart forward. So getting nice and long and stretching the entire side. And then on this foot, make sure that you're pushing that pinky toe edge into the floor, lifting that arch off the floor. Try to grab the floor with the feet like you're on a flagpole and you're an eagle trying to hold on. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up and to the other side. Foot comes out alongside the body. Take your time to get here. This can be a challenge. It may look like it's simple. There's a lot of stuff happening in the body. So see if you can let that bend come in. You might even need to play with this a little bit, doing a little back and forth with your pelvis, or rather side to side with your pelvis. Feel what's happening in that joint there. And just coaxing that mobility into your body in a safe way. Take the hand on the leg, the other palm is up. Inhale to reach up. Get nice and tall here, reaching up, inhale. And then as you exhale, come into the stretch that feels appropriate for you. Press your leg into the ground, reach your arm up, press your heart forward. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself forward. Now, for those of you that would like to come up from here, I'm going to do a plank down dog flow. It's a little more challenging, starting to load up shoulders and hips and moving in those joints slowly with breath. For those of you that may be newer or maybe are nursing issues in your tissues or are not feeling quite as strong yet to fully put your weight on your plank, which a lot of people, that's not available yet. For those that are going to come, that don't want to go through the flow, you can come here and bring yourself up like this. Come all the way up to a standing position, okay? For those that would like to come through the plank down dog flow, you're going to bring your knees onto your blanket Bring your hands forward. Hands are forward, knees are on the blanket, flip your toes under, inhale, and then exhale. Keep your head forward and bring your tushy in the air. Try not to let your head look down towards your feet. Go ahead and bend one knee at a time here, stretching the back of the body, especially down by the calf area. And then you're going to inhale to bring yourself forward. So you're in your plank. Make sure you're right on top of your wrists. Push your fingertips into the floor. Push your feet into the floor. Inhale. And then exhale, tushy to the sky. Bending the hip joint. Inhale to come forward. Not rounding the back at all. Letting the shoulder blades be on the back of the body. So protecting that spine. Keep the spine nice and long. One more. Inhale forward. And then exhale. Bring yourself back. Bend your knees and begin to walk your hands back. Keep your head forward because that'll ensure that you don't round or flex the spine, which is the no-no if you have osteoporosis. Stay here for a second. Make sure your feet are touching the floor. And looking forward, you're going to inhale to bring yourself up to standing slowly. And then you're going to prepare your space. When you bend down with a flat back, so you bend down with a flat back, you're going to bend your hips and your knees to clear your space. For some of you, you may need a chair. So go ahead, grab the chair if you need a chair. Okay, perfect. All right. So come here, let's do a little bit to warm up our body. Let's take the legs really wide here. So your legs are wide and your feet are forward. The chair is for those of you that being in a wide position makes you feel precarious with your balance. So if that's you, having a chair in front of you is a nice safety to have so that you will go a little farther, so that you can do a little bit more weighted compressive force and weight bearing in different angles of your hip joint, which is really important to strengthen the hips if you have bone density issues. So either have the chair there or not. So if you need it, please get it. Toes are pointing forward in a pretty wide stance here. And then toes are pointing out to the side a little bit. So let's warm up the inner thighs here. And when you come down, I'd like you to push into your heels and do a little bending, just a little bit at first, loading up hip, loading up knees. So come down, feel the weight going into your heels when you come down, and really contract the tushies when you do this. Let's take the arms, bring the arms, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So you're loading up your hip joint, loading up your knees, and that's why I want you to really push into your heels. Because if we're in the top of our foot, the front of our foot, more pressure goes to the front of the body. So go slow here, because this can be interesting for knees. Come down into goddess pose here, as low as you can go comfortably. Tailbone is pointing straight down. Heart is up. Push your arms alongside your body. Let's lift up one heel and the other. One heel and the other. See if you can lift up both heels. Lift your heart, contract your core, and then bring yourself down, bring yourself up. I know it can get really hard pretty quick, right? All right, let's begin in Tadasana, mountain pose. So this will be the first official posture of the day. I mean, I guess they all are, but they're focusing on bone health. Take your feet forward. This is a pose of alignment. So really stacking our joints here. Toes are pointing forward. Hands are down alongside your body. Turn your palms forward. Press your hands down towards the floor. So feel like they have weights on them. Lift your chest up. Contract your core. So zipper, like you're zippering up your midsection. Place your head back on top of your spine. Find alignment in your body. Find a stacking of each joint. So get the ankle joints on top of each other, the knee joints, the hips, the spine. Point the tailbone down towards the ground. Feel that length in your spine. If you'd like to explore closing your eyes, you can close your eyes so you can feel this in your body. Feel where the tension may be arising, more than likely in the back of the body, as the postural muscles really fire up in this posture. Take one more breath. Let's move into the tree pose. Take your hands on your waist. From here, you're going to push over to one foot, come onto the tippy toe of the opposite. The knee goes out to the side, and then you grab the floor with the foot. Grab the floor with the foot, and then bring the opposite foot up. Zipper up your belly, lift your heart, lift your clavicle bones. Press your elbows back. You can either stay here with your hands or bring your hands up into a scarecrow position. Look ahead at something that does not move. Find a focal point, a drishti. Take one more breath. Bring your hands back onto your waist. Bring your leg forward. Bring your feet down on the ground. However long you stay up is great. So 30 seconds, or in this case, a little more than 30 seconds is what we went for. But anything beyond 8 seconds would be good. So starting beyond 8 seconds, there's some work that's taking place in the muscles and the bones. Push yourself over, your whole entire body weight over to the other side. Come onto the tippy toes. Grab the floor with the foot you're standing on. Take the knee out to the side and bring your foot up in between the knee joint and the ankle joint. Be nice and tall here. Feel this alignment in your body. Grab the floor with the foot. Push the foot that's on the lower leg into the leg and the leg into the foot. Nice and tall. And find that focal point. Lift your heart up. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself out of that. Let's take the feet, let's stretch the feet. Maybe you noticed a lot of tension there in the feet. The mountain pose and the tree pose can be really great for strengthening the base of the foot, especially that arch. When I ask you to activate the muscles of the foot by grabbing the floor, that activates the lift of the arch, which begins to set up that entire kinetic chain of the body for support. So when we're doing the postures of alignment, it's important to activate the entire kinetic chain from the beginning. Flip your toe under. If you need to go back a little farther to get the toenails to touch the floor, do that. Let's do the other foot. Notice in your body if this is a real challenge or not. And I suggest strongly that you start working on stretching your feet every day. Wherever you are, wherever you're standing, really important to keep mobility in the feet when it comes to balance. And then let's take the foot on the side, get onto your pinky toe edge. And I'd like you to really experience this right over the ankle, right in this part of your leg. So really experience that sensation. And then the other side. So I'm going to use the chair for the next one and a block, giving you a couple of different options. This will be the triangular section, so triangle pose. And with the triangle pose, we keep the straight leg. We do a lot of compressive force in the hip joint, and we also pull on the pelvis with stretching. And then there's a rotational aspect to the trunk. So come here for a second. Let's do a little backstroke to warm up the rotational muscles of the body. Let your elbow lead the way. Let your pelvis stay pretty stationary, so your feet are really locking in and the pelvis is staying pretty stationary. And you're taking the upper trunk and you're rotating it to the side. Start to let your hand go And then let your gaze follow your hand. So we're warming up that rotation in the trunk. And of course, let your hips follow when they need to. Those are all the safety valves in the body. So you don't go too far and you don't pull on anything inappropriately. So let your body move and trust the intelligence that's in your body. And then bring yourself back to center. We have the hip lights, these two hips. If they had lights, they would be pointing forward. We have the heart lights here. The heart would be pointing forward. When we're in the triangle pose, we're actually trying to rotate our heart lights forward. So there's a rotational force with the triangle pose in the spine, so it creates spinal stimulation in the bones. And there's a lot of compressive force and tensile force on the hip joint. So take your legs really wide here. And then the toes lift up and go underneath the chair. And the back heel lifts up to move away from you, really setting up the hips in that nice presentation we're trying to get to. Bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. And then inhale, bring your arms up. Reach your arm away. The legs stay straight. Get a nice bend in that leg like we did with our warm-up when we did the gate pose. And then bring your hand onto the chair. Bring your other hand up into the sky. And then if you would like to go lower, for those of you that have a little bit more range of motion in your body, keep your spine nice and long here. Really bend deeply in that hip joint. Deep breaths here in this triangle pose. You could reach your arm up and over if you like. Now spiral your heart lights forward. Press your feet into the floor, draw that energy to the pelvis, lengthen out of your spine and rotate your trunk. Create as much tension that's safe for your body as you can. Take one more breath. Keep your legs straight. Bring your bottom hand off of the chair or off of the block. Bring it out to the side like you're holding a big beach ball. And then bring that up with you. Let's go to the other side. So I stay in each posture for at least 30 seconds, sometimes a little longer. You need to do what's right for you. In Dr. Fishman's study, when there was a proven increase in bone density, it was 30 seconds holds that they were keeping. So I try to stay in alignment with that. You do, of course, whatever's appropriate for you. Let's see what this side of your body has in store for you. Toes are pointing forward. Pick the toes up underneath the chair, and the back heel lifts up and moves away from you. Press your feet into the floor. Draw that energy up into your pelvis. Lengthen in your spine. Shoulders forward, up, back, and down. And then begin to bend slowly. You're bending now at this hip joint, reaching the arm away until you can't go any farther. And then you bring your hand onto the chair, noticing here what your body is like in this position. And if you'd like to come down a little lower, you can come onto the block. Feel the feet in the floor, push the feet into the floor. Draw that up to the pelvis. Can you bend a little deeper in that forward leg and lengthen your spine out of your pelvis? And then with that, rotate the trunk forward. Rotate the heart lights forward. Create as much sensation as you can. If you would like to lengthen this side, if that's appropriate for your body, try that. Take one more breath. And then to bring that bottom arm up, like you're holding a big beach ball, and then bring yourself slowly up. A lot of obliques there. All right, we're going to go into the warrior two in the side angle. Now, for some of you, you still may need to have that chair there, and we could use this block here for our side angle position. Let me put this side first. Okay. Let's take our legs really wide here. Now we're going to add a little flexion in the knee joint. It's a little bit of a different leg position for these next two postures. Bring the toes up, turn the toes to the side, bring the heel up and away from you. So beginning with the straight legs, try to be right on top of your pelvis, and then add a bend in that front knee. Bring your shoulders forward, up, back, and down. Fingers are reaching down, and push away from the back foot. So really push away from that pinky toe edge to bend that front knee joint so that you go down rather than forward with your body. Arms come up. Turn the palms upward. Look over the front middle finger. Keep the shoulders out of the ears and press your arms back. Go as deep as you can, pushing away from that pinky toe edge, and get nice and tall. Deep breaths down to your belly. Take one more breath. And then you're going to bring yourself up. We're going to go to the other side. So bring your toes forward. When we do this, keep your knees straight because we're trying to actually move the hip joint into a different position. And that's where a lot of the focus is on the hips. Bring the toes up and then let the entire leg rotate. That's an external rotation in that hip joint. The back heel lifts up and away from you. Then you put a slight bend in that knee so you can really establish the base here. Feel your feet onto the floor. Feel yourself growing out of your pelvis. Shoulders are forward, they're up, they're back, and they're down. And pushing away from that back edge. Bring yourself down into the warrior two on this side. Turn the palms up. Let the heart lift. Go as deep as you can. Grow out of this pelvis with your spine. Deep breaths. This is a pose of strength, a warrior pose. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. We'll come into the side angle. So if you'd like to explore going a little lower, having a block at the outside of that front leg in the direction we're going to move will be good for you to do. Okay, let's take the toes up, turn them to the side. Back heel goes up and away from you. Slight bend in the knee. You're pushing away from the outside edge of the back foot. Shoulders are forward, they're up, they're back, and they're down. And then let's lower down into the warrior two. Find yourself in here nice and deeply, and then bend that front arm. Bring that front arm onto that front thigh. So move and feel all the stretching that takes place when you come into this. Arm goes up towards the sky. So this is the beginning of this posture. If you'd like to come down, you can put your hand behind you or in front of that leg. Put your hand on the block and go a little deeper. Tailbone is reaching down towards that back inner edge of the back heel. Spiral your heart forward. And if you'd like to reach up and over, you can extend out the side. Deep breaths. Take one more breath. If you are going to bring the block back up with you, bring it up with you through warrior two. And let's go to the other side. So let's take the foot up. The toes are up. Foot goes to the side. The back heel lifts up. Go ahead and put your block on the floor. Bend at that waist to get that to happen. Keep the head up so you don't go like this to put the block on the floor. Just being very cognizant about the way we move our spine. Slight bend in the knees, shoulders are forward, they're up, they're back, and they're down. And then you're going to inhale to bring yourself into the warrior two. From here, bend that front elbow and bring yourself down onto your thigh. So you can stay here with the support of the arm on the thigh, or you can bring the hand onto the block. Nice deep breathing here. Reach your arm up if you'd like. Take one more breath. And then you're going to bring yourself back into your warrior two and all the way up. So let's go ahead and shake the legs. And I think that you'll be able to feel all of this power that you're bringing into your body. And how could the bones not respond by getting strong for you? So for this next posture, twisted triangle, you'll need a chair. Now, let me show you. So let me show you the twisted triangle. The twisted triangle posture is this, okay? It's a very challenging posture to do without a chair or without the wall. It's a lot of balance. It's not something that I teach very often in the middle of the room, and I don't even like to practice it myself in the middle of the room. So I do think that having a chair for this is a way to stay safe. For those of you that have a stronger practice, you could keep the chair facing yourself so that when you come down, it's a version of what I just did, yet you have a chair there for a little bit of support. For those of you that are newer to the practice, it'll be better for you to have a chair to help you get this rotation and to keep your body a little higher. So this will be the position for those that are a little newer to the practice or that are being a little more careful and not going so low. Maybe there's an issue in your tissues that prevents you from going a little deeper, which is fine. And then for those that can, will come here. And this gives you a little bit of like something to help, okay? So whatever you're gonna do, let's face our chair. Bring the front foot forward. It's the front foot that we're gonna rotate our body over. Okay, so bring your front foot forward, knowing that your body's gonna rotate in that direction. Push your feet into the floor and get nice and tall. Take your hands on your spine, and then you're gonna bend at your hip joint. So your chest stays up, your spine doesn't bend, you're bending right at that hip. And then you bring your arm onto the chair. So the opposite arm comes across your body. You start to spiral, opening up your heart lights to open up forward. Push your feet into the floor, keep the heels on the floor. Now, if you'd like to explore going down, if that's available to you, you can come a little lower. You don't have to. There's benefits in many variations of this posture. Grab the floor with your feet. Push your feet into the floor and spiral open. You could bring your arm open if you'd like, or you can keep your hand on your waist. It's a pretty big, strong practice. Take one more breath. And then to come out, you take the tension out by bending that front knee and bringing yourself up. Let's go to the other side. Many ways to do the twisted triangle. This is the way to do it out in the open room. I do love to do this near a wall. I think it's really a great one to do near the wall because you can go a little deeper in the compression and the twisting in this posture when you're against the wall and you feel a little more secure. And when we're out in the open like this, there's a lot more balance that comes into it. So let's take our feet into about a 2.5 foot position. Toes are pointing forward. Hands are on the waist. You're gonna reach with your heart, bending at the hip joint to come forward and down. And then bring your hand across the chair. When you get your hand on the chair, push down and get nice and really tall, and then add that rotational force into your body. And of course, if you'd like to come down lower here, you can come down lower here if that's appropriate for you. Push your feet into the floor and grab the floor with your feet. Take one more breath. And then to come out, you take the tension out of that front knee and bring yourself up. So definitely one of the stronger poses, and also very interesting when it comes to balance. All right, let's take the chair pose. We're gonna do the chair pose. So you don't necessarily need the chair for this. Actually, let's bring the block. Let's hold our block in our hands. So holding it like this. So a little bit here to practice is this here. So can you push your tushy back and bring the block forward and then come down? Bring the block forward and up, tushy goes back. You should feel this in your tushy cheeks. Make sure you do not round your spine. So lifting the block pretty high so the shoulder blades help the spine and pushing your tushy back. And then let me just show you what I notice when I watch people bend. When people bend, they do this. So you can see how my body is going forward. You can see how I'm going down into my knee joint, right? I'm going forward into my knee joint. And if I brought my awareness to my feet, when I do this and I go forward, I feel the weight going to my toes. And then when you try this, you feel the weight going into your heels. So can you just explore that, please? Because bending safely is a really important thing when it comes to osteoporosis. You're gonna bend back into your heels. Feel how you feel your heels. You can even lift your toes up off. If you go like this, all your weight goes forward. You can't lift your toes off. If you go like this, all your weight goes forward. You can't lift your toes off. But not the whole thing, okay? So we're gonna, and this is a pose of deep flexion in the hip joint, which is what we're really gonna focus on here. So take your hands in your block. And another thing about the knees, when you do bend, keep your knees where they are. Don't let this happen, okay? This happening here is weakness on the side of the body. This is the kinetic chain. We need this strength here so everything else stays in its alignment. So you don't want your knees to go in towards each other. So maybe a lot to think about. Toes are forward, hands are on your block. Zipper up your midsection, so zipper up your core, and then begin to come into the flexion in the hip. Lift the arms up. Zipper the core, tailbone is down towards the ground, the knees are not touching each other. Look up at your block. Reach your arms up. Look at your block. Squeeze the block with your hands. Try closer to the top thighs. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself up. That's called chair pose. So now, posture, it's another balance, another standing balance. It's called Artichondrasana. This is the posture. This is what it looks like. You could do it on a block or you could do it on a chair. Okay, it's a pose of balance. And we open both the hip lights and the heart light forward. It's a lot of balance in that hip joint. So you decide chair or block, or, well, some people can go on the floor. In the classes that I teach, I would say that there's not a lot of that. And I don't really do the floor like that anymore either, because it's not worth injuring myself, and I don't have anything to prove to myself or to anybody, to be honest. All right, so you're gonna face the chair or the block with your toes. If you're gonna do the block, you put the block on the floor. If you're gonna have the chair there. And then the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna load up that leg and then flex the leg that you're lifting. Bring yourself up. Bring yourself forward. Bring your hand up. Flex your foot. Be nice and long in your spine, nice and long. Be nice and long in your spine, nice and long in the leg that you're lifting. The hand can be up, it can go over to the side if you'd like. Grab the floor with your foot. Turn your heart light and your hip lights forward. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bend your knees and bring yourself out. So I just had a thought, And because we are practicing at home, especially if you're alone, it's not worth it to try to anyone or yourself when it comes to practicing. And some of these postures, it doesn't matter how strong you are. The twisted triangle that I did, the twisted triangle, when you do that one, when we come forward, okay? That Artichondrasana that I just did, and probably even to some effect, the tree pose. So all of the poses that have a major balance aspect. If you're home alone, please make sure you're safe. Be near a wall, be near something so that you can put your hand up. It doesn't take much to knock us off of our perch. And there may be something going on in your life, maybe medications, maybe you didn't get a good night's sleep. There may be things that would interfere with your balance, and it's better to be safe than sorry. So I just had that thought, and it happened to me in the pose, which is why I didn't say it before. So please make sure you're either near a wall or even a sofa. If you have a sofa that your lower leg could be up, that could also be something that would be very supportive. And we're here to heal, we're here to create bone strength, and we want to be safe. So let's take the foot you're going to stand on. Either you're on a chair or the block, whatever is the best for you to be on. You're going to contract your core to lift your leg up, and then bring your hand up. Really grab the floor with the leg. Lengthen out your spine. Heart light and hip light forward. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down. Come out. So that's my hip replacement side. It's always interesting for me because I know that it's not, there's stuff in there that's not real. So it's just always amazing to notice what that communication is like in my body. All right, let's stop doing the standing postures. We're going to come down onto the floor, so you're going to need a block and a blanket and a strap for the floor sequence. Let's take a blanket, fold your blanket in two, and bring yourself to sit on your blanket. We'll do a twist. Take your flesh, reach your flesh back on either side so you expose the sits bones. Come to sit nice and tall, and then have your block. You're going to bend in knee. I'm doing the left, so if you want to follow me with the left, you would put the block on the floor behind you, and you bend the left knee if you'd like to. Get the right leg nice and straight. Hold on to your leg and get nice and tall. So when we do rotation, we need to have a nice long spine. Inhale here, and as you exhale, you're going to rotate lower ribs, middle ribs, and upper ribs. Press your hand into the block, get tall, keep your shoulders away from your ears, no shoulder earrings. Nice deep breaths down to your belly. Feel that appropriate rotational force in your spine, lifting that heart forward, rotating, rotating. Take one more breath. And then you're going to bring yourself out. Rotation actually works the core muscles and postural muscles, creates a nice force in the spine, which is one of the main areas that's fractured if you have osteoporosis. So bring your other leg in, your hand is on the block. Get nice and tall here. Push your feet into the floor. Lengthen your spine, lower your shoulders. Inhale. And then as you exhale, rotate lower ribs, middle ribs, and upper ribs. Breathe down to your belly. Keep your shoulders out of your ears. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself forward. Let's bring ourselves out of that. We're going to come down onto the floor. So let's take our blanket off to the side. Everything is going to come off. We're going to do the bridge pose. So when you come down with osteoporosis, you want to reach your hand away from you to bring yourself down onto the floor. I would like you to have nothing behind your head. We are going to be lifting our bodies up, so we don't want to put weight down into our head. So we are going to be doing that. So I'd like you to have nothing, and if you have to have something, make it really thin, please. Let's take the block in between our knees. Walk your feet closer to your body. Lift your upper back off the floor so you could slide your shoulder blades towards each other and keep your hands down alongside your body. Squeezing the block. Let the low back touch the floor. Squeeze the block and begin to peel your spine off the floor, one vertebra at a time. Feel the body leaving the floor. Feel it, the weight coming up to the upper back. And don't let it go all the way to the head or the neck. You could bend your elbows here. Palms face each other. Fingertips are up towards the sky. Squeeze the block. Lengthen the knees away from you. Strengthening the back of the body. So feel the shoulder blades pressing towards the spine. If you'd like to clasp, you could clasp your hands. Deep breaths here. Take one more breath. And then let's slowly, when you come out, place one vertebra at a time onto the floor. You could lift your heels off and posteriorly tilt your pelvis to place that low back onto the floor if you'd like. And bring yourself all the way down. Let's take the block off to the side. Go ahead and roll onto your tummy. We'll do the locust pose. So strengthening the back of the body again. Coming into your Sphinx pose and then lengthen your body so you're nice and long here. Take your hands down alongside your body. Walk your feet so they're only about 4 inches apart. Thumbs are touching your body, and then actually clasp your hands here. So let's clasp our hands if you can. If you can't, you can leave your arms unclasped. Inhale to reach your arms up, your legs up, and your head up. Rolling your legs in the socket so the soles of the feet point up towards the sky. Be long out of the crown of your head, long out of the tippy toes, and the arms are reaching down and back, or up and back. Deep breaths. Be really strong here. Lift up as high as you can comfortably. Take one more breath. And then you're going to slowly, slowly bring yourself down. You're going to roll on to your back again. Bringing the blanket underneath your head. Let's go ahead and get the strap. Bring the strap onto the right foot to center of the foot, slightly towards the toes. Wrap your hands around the strap. Draw the strap down so the shoulder blades are on the floor, and then lengthen the opposite leg if you'd like. We're going to come into a very strong stretch here, so keep the low back away from the floor if you can. Pull the strap down to deeply root that right buttock onto the floor. And then firm up the muscles of the right leg, especially the upper thigh, and draw the leg straight back, creating the strongest sensation of stretch that you can manage.
Pulling the strap down, pulling it back, and at the same time, firming up the leg muscles to push the leg muscles away from you. So you feel this opposing force that you're creating in your body. Go a little deeper if you can. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and let's bend that knee. Let's bring the left foot up into the strap. You begin in the arch and then you move slightly towards the toes. Straighten the right leg if you would like. And if you go to straight and it feels like there's too much tension, you can always bend that leg. Firm up the right leg, firm up the left leg, pull the leg down into the socket. Feel that left buttock really supported in the floor. And then you're going to come into the deepest stretch that you can manage. Firm up the muscles of the left leg. Really feel that tissue stretching in your leg, pulling on the pelvis. Take one more breath. And then let's take that strap off. Bring the knees into the chest, rocking yourself side to side. Bring yourself into a happy baby position here. There's a lot of stretching that went on in the legs today, so for maybe you're able to reach the big toes or even the foot. And it's not a requirement, just a suggestion if you have this range of motion in your hip and your knees. And if not, holding on behind the thighs is great. Keep the legs pretty spread here. And then we're going to come into our final rest, which is Shavasana, final posture of the day. Take your legs nice and straight, coming into the final rest position. So gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. Roll your ankles and your wrists. Let's take yourself into a fully extended position, stretching your body glove. Feel that stretch. And then go ahead and bend your knees one at a time. Draw the knees into the chest, rolling onto your side. And bring yourself up to a comfortable position to close the practice. We're going to use sound. We're going to move through the 3 areas of the lungs that we warmed up in the beginning. Or we're going to move through the 3 areas of the lungs, the lower, the middle, and the upper. Bringing the hands together, rubbing the hands together. Take the thumbs right up against the chest. Sit nice and tall. Lengthen the back of your neck. Take an exhale to prepare. And a big inhale. We finish with namaste. Namaste. So I counted, that was actually 14 postures with Shavasana, the favorite, at the end there. And a lot of bone stimulation today. So just notice how you feel after today's practice. And I hope you feel okay. And I know your bones right now are getting stronger for you. So thank you for joining me. Oh, hi, Janice from Canada. See, all the Canadians are showing up. Glad to have you here. I'd love to hear from some of you. That was definitely a little bit of a stronger practice. I didn't spend as much time warming up. I try to be more descriptive in the postures because I didn't do a lot of the warm up. Sharon,
Lots of sound effects. Yeah, Sharon is referring to the sound effects. If we were in person, there would have been a lot of, oh, that was hard, or whew, or whatever, to signify the challenge. So if you're not subscribed already to my channel, please subscribe and like if you like this. I'm going to become much more active on my Facebook group. So Debbie Robinson Wellness is where I am on Facebook and on Instagram. I'm going to start posting a lot more about bone health and also about health in general. I'm a certified health coach. And so I want to start sharing a lot more information about hormone balance, about different aspects of our body to treat our body in a natural way as we age, whether that's for hormone balance, for bone health, whatever it is. So go on to Facebook, Debbie Robinson Wellness, if you're not there already. Instagram also. And I'm going to start being very active in my posts. And I'm also going to start hosting live events each week. So really trying to just share even more information. All right. Shelly, you're welcome. Joyce, you're welcome. Yes, I'll be off next week. I'm looking forward to it. Kathy, so great to have you. Susan, great. Yeah, I explain really in depth because I want you to be safe. And if I explain really deeply, then you can go in a little deeper and create even more stimulation. And that's my goal. Jeannie, you're welcome. Namaste. Shannon, lots of sound effects. For me too, guys. For me too. I'm here and I'm like, whoa, this is, I kept looking at my clock. I've got a timer here for our 30 seconds. And I'm like, whoa. And for me today, the balance poses were a little challenging. The twisted triangle, the tree pose, I actually had to really be in them. So each day is different and just embracing that. Lots of sound effects. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate having you with sound effects. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate having you with me, and I appreciate us getting stronger together. So until we meet again, bye.